what is like a smelly fart that, although invisible, is obvious? A bad mood, that would be a very good one. Yeah. Yeah. What is like a smelly fart that, although invisible, is obvious? Yeah, actually bad mood would be a very good answer for this. It isn't the answer that he said, our own faults that are precisely as obvious as the effort made to hide them. When you fart, and it's like, who, me? I didn't. So it's the same kind of thing, especially in community, It's like, who, me? I don't have that fault. Yeah. that didn't come from me. And so we live like that so much of our life, don't we? The fault is like there. Everybody sees it. Yeah, it's total, and it's as obvious as our effort to pretend that it isn't there. I don't have that fault. I didn't do that. Or the great one is, I did that because blah, 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 blah. And then people give you this, this long defense argument about how they were thinking and this and that, and the other person said, and I really meant, and I don't want you to think this about me. And all you need to say is, yes, I did that. Yes, I farted. But we don't say that, do we? We invent all sorts of things. We go around here, we go around there, we justify, we blame other people, we make up stories. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? Yeah, anything but say, yes, I have that fault. There it is. And the thing is, when you live in community, everybody knows it already. So you're not telling anybody anything new. Yeah. But it's amazing how we don't want to acknowledge how we are. This is coming back to the thing of approval again. Yeah, I need to look good, so I'm not going to acknowledge to myself I have this problem. I'm not going to acknowledge it to anybody else. I'm going to pretend that, everything is starting with me is great. Yeah? So this comes to be a problem, doesn't it? Especially when everybody sees it and we're like, trying to hide it.
It's like walking around with a can of delayed air freshener.
It's true. You're walking around with your can of air freshener, which you don't know what smells worse than fart. Because those air fresheners are like, ugh, It's like spray. So then everybody goes, okay, what's going on? And that's what happens when we get really defensive, isn't it? Yeah. And with our story, wanting to explain ourselves and wanting to make sure everybody understood and they didn't misunderstand and they don't think badly of us. Yeah. So, the thing is to really be able to discern our faults correctly. Yeah, because especially, in broader society, sometimes people think what is a virtue according to the Dharma is a fault. And then, if we're influenced by these people, we'll start thinking our virtues are faults and start blaming ourselves for things. Yeah, and then other times, because of conditioning, what is actually a fault, the world thinks is fantastic. And again, then we think everything's great, but it's pretty smelly. But the world just happens to be saying it's great, yeah. And I think we've all seen this in our lives. I don't know about you, but I know that I've sometimes done like really nasty things, but I can cover it up so well that it looks, you know, in the way I explain it to somebody, that it looks like something, such a good thing I really did. Yeah? Do you do that? Can you do that? Yeah? And just, you know, you weave the story and it's like so virtuous, but really the motivation behind it was lousy. But, you know, we have our air freshener out. Yeah. But, and some people are silly enough to believe us when we're rationalizing and justifying, and some people are smart enough to know it's a bunch of air freshener. Yeah. But, you know, this is where it really comes in to look at ourselves and be able to discern ourselves what is a fault and what is a good quality. And then when there's faults there, it's like, there they are, you know, and why try and hide them? And it's kind of a relief sometimes when you can say, I have a fault or I have a problem. It really, you know, then we don't have to use so much energy trying to pretend we don't. Yeah. I remember one time at the Abbey, a situation happened, and I asked a person, you know, did you do this? And I said, oh, no. And it was like, this is BS. Why are you telling me BS? I know you did this, you know? And then, like about an hour later, the person came to me and he said, well, it wasn't actually like that. It was kind of like this, you know. But I was really glad at least he had the integrity to own up to it, because I knew what he had said wasn't true. Yeah. So. Okay, then, you want to hear what Samdang Rinpoche said? So I had written him about the book and everything, but I won't read that part. I had written him to tell him that, you know, that we had a Bhikshuni Sangha here, and, you know, to tell His Holiness there's a Bhikshuni Sangha. We do the 3 monastic practices, Posada and Varsa and Pravarana, and that we had just done Katina, and, you know, and I just thought that His Holiness might be interested in knowing that. So, he said His Holiness was so pleased to know that the 7 Bhikshunis of Sravasti Abbey in the USA have already completed the first Varsa and Pravarana, and that you are doing the Posada regularly. His Holiness asked me whether you are reciting the Pratimoksha Sutra in the Chinese language or Pali or Prakrit language. Can you inform me in what language you are reciting the Pratimoksha during your Posada? Isn't that incredible? I mean, that His Holiness is interested in this. So, yeah. So I will write and tell him we do it in English.